You know what's crazy? The thing that we spend the most time working for in our lives, money, is something that we don't spend much time learning about. So today I'm going to teach you exactly what you need to know about money and how it works so you don't have to slave away for the rest of your life just to get by. This video is a step-by-step, in-depth guide that will teach you what you need to know in order to go from just making a couple $100 or $1,000 per month to making so much money that you don't ever have to work again. So make sure you watch this video till the very end because I guarantee you this information will change your life. Let's get started. Now we're going to be using a concept called the wealth triangle, although I personally prefer to look at it as steps. The first step towards becoming rich and wealthy is developing high income skills. This is a concept that I've brought up a couple of times in previous videos, but just to jog your memory, a high income skill is a skill set that can make you at least $50 per hour. Although personally, I think a good high income skill should make you at least $100 per hour. I'll give you an example. So one of my good friends does something called copywriting. Copywriting is essentially selling using words. At one point or another, you've probably landed on a sales page for a product or a service on the internet before that had lots of words on it. That's basically copywriting. Now, companies are willing to pay large sums of money in order for someone to effectively write these sales letters. My friend makes just a bit over $10,000 every single month writing these things, and he's not putting in 40 hours a week like your typical job. Just last month, he only worked 40 hours for the entire month to make 8 sales letters, which made him a total of $10,000. If you do the math, that's $250 per hour of work. Now that's a high income skill. See, we're taught in school and by society that it's great to land a $25 per hour job, or that it's fantastic to study for 8 years to become a lawyer and make $75 per hour. We've been convinced that our time is only worth so much, when in fact, there's so much money out there waiting to be made. So many companies with big budgets and people with huge issues that are willing to pay large sums of money to whoever can solve their problems. And if you're not going to solve these problems and take their money, I guarantee you someone else will. Now you might be wondering, well, how do I even go about developing a high income skill? And that's a very good question, because for the most part, these are skills that are not taught in school. So there aren't too many people who know about them. But the answer is actually quite simple. All you have to do is learn them from someone else who's already an expert. See, there's tons of good high income skills out there like digital marketing, copywriting, coaching, public speaking, and high ticket closing, all of which have at least 1 or 2 experts who have decided to teach these skills for a living. So what you have to do in order to develop a high income skill is find one of these experts and purchase their course or program and simply learn from them. And it usually doesn't require much more than a simple Google search and some digging to find these sorts of programs. Speaking of which, I'm actually going to be hosting a free training very soon, teaching you guys about one of the most powerful high income skills that I've personally come across. It's a skill that's allowed me to make $16,000 in just 4 hours. All you have to do is click on the link in the description box below to secure your seat. Now, why is developing a high income skill the first step of our process? Why not start a business or invest? Because that's what everyone else says you need to do in order to become rich, right? And they're right. But there's a really important reason the high income skill must come first. And we're going to address this question in a couple of minutes. Now, the second step of the wealth triangle is to create a scalable business. A scalable business is a business that can drastically increase in size without you having to give up a significant amount of your own time. It might sound a bit confusing, so here's a couple of examples. Here's a non-scalable business. Let's say you open up a restaurant, it's doing really well, and you want to grow this business. Now, in order to grow this sort of business, you would have to open up more restaurants. But this can lead to a lot of problems. You would have to find a new location, you would have to furnish the new restaurant, you would have to hire a new team, a new chef, you would have to think about who's going to manage this branch and oversee everything, because you can't be in 2 places at the same time. So it's not very easy to scale this sort of business. It would require a ton of work and can cause a lot of headache. On the other hand, a scalable business is something like an online shop. Let's say you open up a shop and you start drop shipping t-shirts using ads that you buy on Facebook. Drop shipping is when another company handles the printing and shipping of all your products, so you don't physically have to deal with the products ever. Things are going well and you'd like to grow your business. What do? Well, you don't need to physically hire more people to help you ship the products. You don't need to rent more space to hold the products, because the drop shipping company you work with will do all of that for you. You also don't need more managers because you can oversee everything from your own computer. The only thing you would have to do is spend more money on ads, and you could easily do that with a click of a button. Now, as you can see, there's a huge difference in the amount of work it would require to grow these 2 different businesses. Normal businesses require you to sacrifice more of your time in order to grow, while scalable businesses allow you to leverage other people's time to make you more money. And in order to become truly rich, you need to have time and money, because there's no point in making a lot of money if you don't have the time to enjoy it. Now, to answer our question from before. Why should we focus on developing a high income skill first instead of a scalable business? Well, the answer is actually quite simple. See, a recent study actually found that 82%, yes, 82% of all businesses fail because of cash flow, poor cash management. Business is like a roller coaster. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs. Businesses that fail because they're unable to put more money into the business to keep it running when the business is going through a low period, which just about every single business does at one point or another. Now, if you focus on developing a high income skill first, you will gain the ability to go out and make large sums of money whenever you want. So if your scalable business ever goes through tough times, you can simply go out, make some money, and keep your business afloat. Now, when you have a successful business, you will start making passive income. This is money that goes into your pocket without you having to physically work. Other people and your business itself are going to make this money for you. Your goal at this point is to continue to scale your business to the point where you are making a significant amount of money passively to enter the third and final step of the wealth triangle. The final step of the wealth triangle is called high return investments. Most people invest in things like a 401k or the stock market, which averages about 7 to 8% a year. But if you want to be truly rich, to truly have peace of mind in regards to your finances, you need to be investing in things that could potentially make you a lot more than that. These sorts of investments are called high return investments. They are investments that will give you at least a 10% return every single year, but they can often even give you 20% or even 30% a year. And these things absolutely do exist. One really common example of this that everyone is familiar with is real estate. Real estate has the potential to give you massive returns if you do it properly. The key word here is properly, because most high return investments require a ton of research and a lot of learning. You can't just jump into real estate and expect to make money. You'd have to attend some seminars, read a couple of books, and even make a couple of mistakes before you have a clue about what you're doing. Another form of high return investments are investing in other companies, using your money to buy a stake in other companies you think will do well. Now, of course, these things are risky, which is why investing in high return investments is the final step of the wealth triangle, not the first or the second. It's very dangerous to skip steps. We see this all the time. Some people will save up a lot of money by working normal jobs and then invest in real estate, only to be hit by sudden market change, and then bam, just like that, they're financially ruined. When you have high income skills, when you have a successful scalable business that is bringing in tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month, you can afford to make these riskier investments. Don't invest money that you can't afford to lose. Now, just to be clear, you're not throwing your money at random investments at this point. The rich only invest in things that they understand very well. They can tell if the odds are in their favor and they invest accordingly. So they're constantly staying up to date and well informed. So to sum everything up, in order to become rich, number one, you need to start learning high income skills so that you can trade your hours for large sums of money, not the pennies that you're currently getting paid. This is crucial as it lays out the foundation for the next two steps. Step number two is that you need to learn how to leverage others and their time to make you money by starting a business. Then you need to scale this business with the money you make from step number one to a point where you're making tens of thousands of dollars every single month passively. And finally, you need to learn how to use your money to make even more money. You take the extra cash you have coming around every month from your scalable business and you use that cash to invest in high return investments like real estate that will make you even more cash. Of course, all of this is much simpler said than done, but this is how you do it. This is how you become rich. For those of you that are interested in getting started on this journey and would like to develop their own high income skill as soon as possible, I invite you to attend my free training where you'll learn about a very powerful high income skill by clicking on the link in the description box below. Besides that, guys, stay tuned.